housing and all that shit. And Gavin Newsom passing a law that you don't even need an ID to vote. You're saying that we're coming up with where these people aren't coming in for the votes? That's the main goal of this whole thing. What was the open border for? Why was the border open for 4 years? Answer me that.
Oh my God, this veiny neck guy with all this hair grease in his head doesn't understand how voting works. You think you just walk up into a polling place, they don't ask you nothing, okay? Is that what you think? You just walk into a building, go to a booth, push a button and walk out? You still have to give information, even in states that don't require an ID. All right, so one of my biggest pet peeves, especially when it comes to conversations about immigration, and honestly, this is a big portion of why I hate politics, because no matter what statistics, no matter what numbers, no matter what logic you try to tell people, if they don't want to listen, they're not going to listen. When people say Democrats want open borders, what does that mean? Does that mean like we don't care who comes through and we're just like firing all of our, border patrol and every organization that's down there to prevent people from coming in or to check, if people have access to come in? We don't want all of that. We're just like, hey guys, go home for the next 4 years. The Joe Biden and Democrats want immigrants to just come on in. We got an open border. Is that what that means? Because when you guys say that, you guys don't go into detail on what that means. And Sam Seder, which we're about to go into, is on Valuetainment. And this was really hard to watch because these idiots, they seem to not understand how basic functions work. And it's like, why do you have a show talking about politics if you don't take the time to learn the basic fundamental things about voting, about immigration, about the stats that you're looking at? You don't even know the basics of it. So how are you trying to explain to somebody of what we're looking at if you don't know the basics? So once again, let's go ahead and get into it. If I sound a little like weird, my allergies, I'm still trying to get over this cold, so don't laugh at me in the comments, okay? Jesus, I'm trying here. So let's go ahead and get into this video.
Illegal immigrants that came to us 4 years.
I will get to illegal.
You don't care about those people.
I will get to the undocumented.
You cared about children.
But you don't want to talk about this, and I don't blame you because it's embarrassing.
No. But let me do a quick time out.
Every one of those Social Security numbers.
Do a quick time out here. Sam, let me just do a quick time out. You said you don't want to talk about this. You just spun away from a question I asked you, and you brought this up. You haven't even addressed the question I asked you.
Let me
Wait a
finish,
minute.
and we'll get to the
point that
illegal
let's go back to what I asked you. I asked you a question that the money that's going in, Americans prove that they don't trust the government getting the money than free market, free enterprise.
I don't think that's the case.
You never addressed that.
I don't think that's the case. People love Social Security. People love
wasted
Medicare.
Expenditure. What we learned with DOGE. The American people said, Sam, enough of you taking our tax money and see what you're doing with it.
Elon Musk made that Wisconsin election of a referendum on DOGE. To the extent that we've seen anybody vote on DOGE, nobody heard the word DOGE before November of last year. To the extent that we've seen a referendum on DOGE, it just happened in Wisconsin. It happened in Florida, where the size of the win by those Republican congressmen was cut by 17, 20 points. I mean, this is a wipeout. And every Republican, you're going to see a difference in Republican lawmakers over the next year and a half, because anybody who was in a plus Trump 8 district or less is now starting to go like, wait a second. That's why Musk is being shown the door, supposedly. So getting back to my point about those Social Security numbers.
And before he continues, because they kind of leave that subject out, and I've been on an absence for the past like maybe month and some change. When it comes to DOGE and Elon Musk and all this supposedly waste that they're finding and they're posting on the websites, we already know, one, whoever's posting on this site don't know basic math. either they're lying about the numbers or they're claiming victory on claims that were already ended. And they're just trying to add that to the pot to make the number seem bigger. It's like, no, that program already ended. You can't say you cut that if it already ended. So we already know they don't know basic math. So they said, what? He said something billions of dollars he's going to save. Not even close. But once again, okay.
Given all to legal non-citizens. And every one of those cards, you can't vote, because I think you definitely said, and I think maybe you said, that this is a Democratic strategy to get voters. Hold on for a second. The Social Security card that they get literally says not legitimate for voting purposes. It is so that these non-citizens who are legal, just like when you came in, excuse me, pay into the Social Security system and get, many of them never get that money back. So in addition to the undocumented immigrants who pay in $22 billion a year into Social Security and get zero back, these people pay several $billion in a year, and only if they become citizens, which most of them won't. Most of them will go back home over a period of time. They're here for temporary protected status. Maybe some of them are refugees and they get permanent citizenship. They won't get that money either. So every single thing of that video, this video here, was completely wrong that you guys did. It was fascinating to me because I feel like you, at the very least, I believe that you care about the information you're putting out. And this was all wrong. And
so they're up there. So Sam, this is all a lie. These guys were up there just completely bullshitting with all the numbers. Where he's saying that people in the government are blowing the whistles. He didn't want to say their names. He was giving them praise. And for Sam, for you to say that you care.
So before he goes on his rant, okay, we already know that Elon Musk and the Musketeers already falsified not only the numbers on the website when it comes to how much fraud and waste that they're saving, but even when it comes to the tariffs. All the tariffs they put on every single country on this whole entire earth, which is funny on its own, they even screwed that up. So it's like, it's not hard to believe that they're lying or they just don't understand the information that they're trying to explain. So you know, he got the veins all popping out the neck. So you're telling me that they're lying? Well, damn. If they're telling you something that's not true, what do you call that? Call it what you want. But it's not telling the truth.
You care about the kids and the labor and all that stuff. We've had an open border for 4 years, and all the illegals, way more than 10 million, have come into this country. California, is that where you live?
No.
Where do you live?
I live in New York.
Okay, great, even better. California. So the amount of money that we spent on illegals with housing and all that shit, and Gavin Newsom passing a law that you don't even need an ID to vote. You're saying that we're coming up with where these people aren't coming in for the votes? That's the main goal of this whole thing. What was the open border for? Why was the border open for 4 years? Answer me that.
Oh my God, this veiny neck guy with all this hair grease in his head doesn't understand how voting works. You think you just walk up into a polling place, they don't ask you nothing, okay? Is that what you think? You just walk into a building, go to a booth, push a button and walk out? You still have to give information, even in states that don't require an ID, because you still have to register to vote. How do you register to vote? If you're not registered, when they see your ballot is not only tossed out or put aside so they can try to verify it. If you're trying to vote and not being registered and you're not supposed to be voting, that's your ass. You're going to get caught. Why would you want to get caught just to vote? People who can vote don't even want to vote. So why risk being caught trying to just vote? You see what I'm saying? To register to vote, you need an ID. You need a social security card. And what Sam is saying is the social security card that they give you when you're just here temporarily literally says I seen it once before, not a purpose to vote or something like that. So it's like you need to know how things work before you start complaining about it. That's simple. But of course, all that hair grease is messing up something all up in here, and he doesn't get it.
That question.
First of all, the border was not open.
Give me a. Are you kidding me? Look at the. What do you mean the border
Sam,
wasn't
what do you-
open? Are you?
Sam.
Hold on. Did you smoke
But you know
before
what I
you
love
came in
about
here?
this?
That's ridiculous.
By the way, Vinny, here's the part, though.
You're full of it, bro.
Here's the part.
Get out of here.
Sam, here's the part when I hear this, okay?
Anybody can look at that video. The things you were saying
Tell me the
yesterday
border-
Rob,
was
do me
a
a favor, Rob.
complete
Sam,
sack
type in-
of lies
Rob,
type
or
in
just misinformation.
illegal
Be honest with me, the border-
immigration year
Yeah.
over year over year. Type
Sam,
in illegal immigration year over year.
The fact that you're saying the border wasn't
do
wide
I
open.
turn
How
his
many
volume
deaths?
down a little
How
bit?
many deaths
just doesn't
have
talk.
happened? How many
Images,
fentanyl
yeah.
deaths have happened per year while your freaking president Joe Biden was in office? How many? Hold on.
So how many fentanyl deaths happened when Joe Biden was in office? So you're blaming Joe Biden for Americans buying illegal drugs and taking in those substances. I mean, how does that work? I'm an American. Ain't nobody forced me to do drugs. That's something that I choose to do. If that makes sense. I apologize. But once again, I don't understand how he's trying to connect Americans buying drugs if they're illegal. That's an American problem. Maybe you should be trying to tell Americans, stop doing drugs. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking crazy, I guess.
How many Americans died just from fentanyl, and you're saying the border wasn't wide open? We've had the most illegal entry in 4 years in the history of the country.
Dude.
You're
All
and
right,
this is
I'll
why
answer
let
you.
me finish. And this is why your party sucks. This is why your party is at 29% approval.
20%.
Because you got 20, thank you. Because all you guys do is talk shit and just go anti-Trump. You have no policies. You guys have no vision. You have no leaders. You're talking about oligarchs and you hate the oligarchs. Where do you think Bernie Sanders and AOC are going to get their money from? Their donors. Are
Okay.
you, like, don't lie to yourself. For you to look, and like, brother, you're talking about yesterday we lied.
AOC and Bernie Sanders don't take
Hold on,
money
ready
from
for this?
those people.
You're saying that we lied 2 days ago. You just lied, and you're gonna look like a fool that the border wasn't wide open. Look at this chart. What does that chart say to you? Say, what is that? What did Trump, when Trump was in, he was trying
And trust me, Sam is about to shut this down really quick. And it feels like it just goes over their head. So pay attention.
to close it, but your party was fighting it. It's unbelievable how many illegals have come in the past 100 days.
But this is
Wait,
this
wait,
is
wait,
this
wait,
is the
wait,
part
wait.
to just be very just show the data. Illegal immigration. This is Wall Street Journal. Is a bigger problem than ever.
Oh, no, that's
These
fake
five
news.
charts
No, no, no.
explain why. Go
Okay.
a little bit lower. That's under
first off,
Biden.
Trump
Okay.
got
First off-
shot trying to show these charts. Literally.
This is October of 2023. Go to
Like,
the next one.
A guy who was registered Republican.
Here's another
Hold
one
on,
for
wait,
you.
let me,
Oh, yeah,
can
he's
I
a
address
Republican.
what
Let's go.
his
No, let me just show
rant
the data,
was?
and then I want you
Let
to
me-
say
let
what
me
you want to say.
address
Go a little bit lower with the data,
his-
Ron. No, because he said it's inaccurate. This is another one here
Okay, well,
showing
go back
data.
up. Go back up to the.
And then go to the last one, Rob.
Go to
Go
the,
to the last one, Rob.
Go to the top one here.
I mean, this is the
I'll go
numbers
through
you're
all of
talking
these
about.
Charts.
So this is you can
Start one by one. Go up.
explain every one of them. Go
Okay.
for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you can see that this is what constitutes illegal immigration. These are, if it was an open border, you would not have these numbers. You would not have the
If it
numbers
was
to
an
know
open border, you
when
would.
Title 42 ends,
Yeah.
more people are coming to the border and they're being put into a system. Period.
That's the best part about it.
And that's the
Because
definition.
they were told to come. Sam, let me explain something.
Okay. Once again, this is why I hate politics. You can't just shut your mouth for 2 seconds. Whoever he is, shut up. Stop talking so daggone much and listen. If it's an open border, how are they even getting these numbers? How are they stopping illegal immigrants from coming over and able to document those numbers? If 10,000 came on a Friday and we caught them and we were able to understand that they're illegal, they don't belong in the U.S., we document that. Hey, we stopped 10,000 from coming in today. We give that information, they post it up on our website, and we can see the data from that. How do we have the data if there's open borders? If they could just come on in, just you, your mama, everybody just come on through. We're just letting everybody in, buying them mansions and stuff in California and New York. Just come on in. Wouldn't we have no data? Would we not care about that? I don't know, but it's just really basic stuff. But let's hear the guy who can't take 10 seconds to breathe. I mean, he's turning red. I'm actually concerned about him right now.
When your president says, come to the country.
Is he just going to yell all the time?
No, I'm not yelling. You just give me facts.
Can I turn down his microphone? Because
you can't. Yeah, just see which one he is. I think
Jesus
seat
Christ.
3 or which one is it, Rob?
Seat 3.
Seat 3.
Seat 3. Go ahead. Lower that
And
right
then,
there.
And then the mic.
Right there. There you
Volume,
go. Is
just
that
lower.
good? Is that good?
Seat
Seat
2.
2. There you go.
Okay, go for it.
All right.
Go
All right,
ahead.
good.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So,
You're still going to hear the truth, though. So go ahead.
no, I'm happy to.
Yeah.
Can't turn down the truth.
No, you can't.
Open border would mean that we have no records of people coming across the border. The law in this country has been that if you put your foot in this country, it's an international law, it's a U.S. law. If you put your foot in this country and you apply for asylum, you are due a process to do that. 98% of those people who are then what you guys would call catch and release come back for their hearings. We are woefully understaffed in terms of like immigration judges, and that process is definitely broken. I would love to see more money spent in the processing of these people so that we can establish which ones, like your family,
Like my family as well. Illegal immigrants.
but came in
Yep.
through a refugee status. They weren't citizens on day one. They came in, they went through a process, and it's possible at that time, I mean, I remember, I was old enough to remember the Iran hostage situation. I remember the fallout afterwards. There may have been some form of temporary protected status, whatever it was at the time, that allows people to come in. Then they're assessed and processed. It's determined that, yes, their claim for asylum is appropriate or not, et cetera, et cetera. That's what we're looking at there. As you scroll up on those other charts, you can see when Title 42 ends, which was only supposed to be an emergency situation that has to do with health, and you can't have it both ways. Either COVID ends or it doesn't end, the pandemic, and so people come in. There's no doubt, and that number on that chart that Musk had, under Biden, more people received temporary protected status. We had a problem in Haiti as the country is falling apart. You had people from Ukraine coming in because of, obviously, the invasion. These are all under temporary protected status. They all got Social Security numbers so they can pay.
Hey, once again, I hope you are listening. And those are just some of the reasons. But once again, if you don't care about the reasoning and you just have your talking points, nothing else matters.
Pay taxes into our government and not necessarily get the services back.
Yes, and vote for Democrats.
No, they can't vote.
Right.
Those Social Security cards literally say on the card say you can't use this for voting.
AOC said we don't.
You can't vote if you're just here under asylum and you haven't been processed through all the way. You can't vote. What? Why? This is why I hate politics. Nice suit. He got his hair all nice. That's an expensive setup that he got. He doesn't want to lose his money. He doesn't want to lose his audience. So what does he have to do? Play stupid. Or and you know they're gonna vote, right? How do you register to vote? Come on now. But we're gonna make it through this video, baby.
We don't have an illegal immigration problem. We have a documentation problem. That's what AOC said. So this is not something new. You know how when you talk about who's better at gerrymandering, the left or the right?
Republicans seem to be better at that.
The Republicans are
I know.
much better
I agree.
at that.
Guess what? So it's not like they can fight it and say no, we're not. That's their reputation. They have it. They're better at gerrymandering. Strategically, they're better at doing that. But for you to sit here,
I don't have a problem.
May I make
like
my
you do
point?
with
Let me make my
immigrants.
point.
Yeah.
When you sit here and you watch yourself when you're saying these policies and you spew out these policies, what the average person does, they'll watch it, and if they've already outgrown it, because today the problem with folks, content creators have today is the following. Say we say something on a video and we're wrong. You know what others will do? They'll react to it and they'll say stuff to it. And if we're right, they'll keep coming to us to want to hear more of it, because they'll say, at least you sound reasonable. And they'll say, I want to hear what John has to say. I want to hear what Joe has to say. I want to hear what Megan has to say. I want to hear what, whoever these people are that are giving ideas out there want to say, right? But when you keep saying stuff that others are able to tear apart so many times, that a former liberal watches that maybe was a viewer of you and says, how can Sam not see this and outgrow it? He is still stuck on this policy that's been proven. Americans don't want to pay more taxes to a government that wastes their taxes. How does he not see that? How does he keep pushing this agenda back?
Okay. One, I don't even understand his analogy. He's going all over the place, but Americans, or Sam Seder's not saying all Americans need to pay more taxes. He's saying the ultra wealthy, the millionaires, the billionaires need to pay more taxes. What does that have to do with me? I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a billionaire. I wish I pay more taxes just to get up there. But no, that's not, or at least what Sam is saying, that's not going to affect 80%, 90% of Americans. So what are you talking about? And people don't go to content creators because what they're saying is true, which, I mean, it should. I would have 1 million subscribers at this point. But people go to content creators because, unfortunately, they need someone to justify what they already think. Unless that content creator, like myself, challenges their viewers on what they're thinking. I have people who watch my videos that don't agree with everything that I say, but they still keep watching. Why? I don't know. Maybe I'm a pretty cool guy. I don't know. But what is this guy saying? It is nothing. I don't even know why he's the main guy on the show, and he's probably the stupidest one. At least in my opinion. I've been watching him maybe like a year now. Honestly, I think he's the stupidest. But okay, whatever.
Back and forth. Then you lose an audience, and the people you keep is the following. Here's who you end up keeping. You end up keeping an audience that makes you think you're right, but that's not always the case. You keep an audience that, of course, hates rich people. Rich people are bad people, and they're probably not making a lot of money, and they come to Sam to save them. Hey, let's trash and bash rich people because this is what we got to do. Yes, Sam, let's go after the rich. We want 1 million people to support the future.
I like how he cut that off. Now he's going into his ad, but this is the reason why people hate, which that's a loaded word, but we can get into that some other video. But this is why regular people think rich people need to pay more taxes. Let me pull this up here. Hey, there you go. I got this on my iPad here, but check this out. Go ahead, consume that. Consume it. I want you to think about this. Where's my pen? I got this somewhere. You tell me why 1970, look at this. This is lower class. This is middle class. This is upper class. Look at the gaps between here. 1970. Let's look at 2000. This is almost what? Almost 10 times? 2018. Looks like wages are pretty stagnant, but hey, rich folks keep getting richer. So you're telling me, looking at this information, and this is from, let me see. This is from, hey, Pew Research. Hey, do some research. So you're telling me regular folks wouldn't see information like that and say, but they not paying their fair taxes? Hey, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with idiots, but thank God there's people like Sam Seder that will go into areas like that and try. I know he's not speaking to the host and trying to change their mind. If anything, trying to reach the people that are watching. And that's all you can do. But once again, guys, if you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video, let me know in the comments down below. And once again, this is why I hate politics. I will see you guys on the next one.